Oh, hello. Yeah, just finished a few nights' work. What I do isn't particularly taxing, but it's still at night and kind of throws the body clock out somewhat. I just wanted to sort of compare and contrast quickly today. Three media pieces, Telegraph, Guardian and the Mail, and sort of link them together in a way. The piece in the Telegraph is one of those very unusual ones, which actually suggests that maybe teachers are perhaps do slightly more than spend their days skulking around, skiving off. There is that kind of quite mainstream opinion, I noted it yesterday with Andre Walker, that they are feckless, collectively as a group. And Celia Walden suggests that maybe if we actually wanted teachers to keep schools open, we should stop treating them like dirt. It's just an idea. Obviously that won't work. The piece in The Guardian is on trans issues, saying that the government's actions have caused real distress to the community. Odd that there's a community of utterly beyond the pale people in balaclavas that need to be, I don't know, eradicated, whatever it might be. I noted, for example, the report criticised Liz Truss, the then Equalities Minister, and the Equality and Human Rights Commission for evading, quotes, parliamentary scrutiny on this contentious subject, end quotes. This is about allowing people to self-certificate in terms of transitioning by refusing to give evidence to the committee. Yeah, the MPs said they would both urgently produce guidance, including practical examples on how to apply single-sex exceptions under the Equalities Act. Yeah, they didn't. This leaves an awful lot of things in limbo because the law we have at the moment is 17 years old and desperately needs to be updated because, drumroll, the right-wing press will basically have a field day in terms of any trans issues because automatically the balaclava ones are wrong, aren't they? So that might be an idea, rather than Liz Truss, perhaps our next Prime Minister, running away from it. I wonder why. Yes. And then finally we have Dan Wooton, who is appears to have disappeared down some libertarian hole, like so many people do. But, you know, I mean, he's not really doing anything that the rest of them aren't doing. One cursory glance at Twitter will tell you this. But I just wanted to read from some of this. Because the language is so blindingly inflammatory that I think that the guy should be arrested, if you like. I'm just going to quote there. The COVID 2022 battle lines have been drawn. At stake, how we live our lives forevermore. Yeah, forever. It's not just till next Tuesday, it's forever. Anyway, on the side of hysteria, never-ending restrictions, doomsday duo Christopher Whitty and Patrick Vallance. The worst fortune teller in the history of viruses, Neil Ferguson. Every lost soul at BBC News. Cabinet irrationals Michael Gove and Savid Javid. Robert Peston, the leader of no opposition Keir Starmer. Failed London Mayor Sadiq Khan. Communists and anti-capitalists everywhere. Yeah. You'd need a big room to get all them in, wouldn't you? Anyway, on the side of learning to live with this damn virus once and for all, 100 and counting, Tory backbench rebels, independent thinking scientists, freedom fighters everywhere, including a tiny handful in the media who've been brave enough to ask the pertinent questions, and Lord Frost, who became the first warrior to quit a senior cabinet post because of Plan BS. Yes. Well, since we're not being historical, it would be good, wouldn't it, Dan Wooton? I don't know. I just noticed this stuff has become an avalanche. I guess it's because there is a government on the ropes that effectively have capitulated to their backbenchers, these libertarians, the 100 souls standing up to the bastards at the BBC or teachers or anti-capitalists or Keir Starmer or anyone that you want to throw in there. Now, there were two of those articles, three were reasonably rational, and then we end up with this thing in the Daily Mail. I mean, it's borderline hate speech, I would suggest. You know, because as a one of those sort of lone left-wing voices out there on social media, I do often come across this kind of stuff. People will automatically assume that anything I have to say, my own opinion, and it is my own opinion because I don't agree with an awful lot of things on the left, I must be wrong. Why? Because they've heard it over and over and over and over and over and over again everywhere. I must be wrong. Why? Because I just am. Yeah. Anyway, it would be nice if we could have a rational debate about keeping schools open in the middle of a pandemic, because if you know anything about public health, there are two things you do. You clear the hospitals and you close the schools. All right? It's not rocket science. But no, mustn't do that. Mustn't do that. And then, a proper debate about trans issues, whereby we actually talk about them. We don't simply invite a group of heterosexual white people to have an opinion on it. And perhaps we do need to have an honest discussion, if you like, about the whole thing about COVID data, because you may notice at the moment the whole, let's allow people to make up their own minds. They are. They're voting with their feet. The restaurants, pubs and shops are going to be empty. Because, the people are deciding. Are they wrong? I'm guessing that in about 2 or 3 days' time, we will see a lot of articles, for example from Dan, suggesting that the people are wrong. Why? Because they've been misled by the scientists. Yeah, magically again. Yeah, anyway, I don't know. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. I just find this stuff utterly dispiriting. Because it contains the current debate about COVID generally contains no real evidence-based component to it. And it is. It's just dispiriting that people seem unable to come up with a reasonable approach to things. And our government have abdicated that responsibility to all of us. So maybe we should just stay at home. In which case, Dan's going to be cross at you. He'll call you a communist.